What ambiance does your environment give off?
When you first walk into our school, there's a fabulous lady that sits at the front door that lets people in and greets them at the first when they first come into the school. Our principal is one who works with parents. She gives off that she knows the student's name by the first week of school. She can tell you everything about the car they ride in, about the child. We have parents who care about their students, who works with their parents, very accommodating to things that parents would like to talk about. You want to see if it works?
How would you describe your classroom environment?
I think when you first walk into the room, you're going to see a classroom that's warm and inviting with rugs, lamps, not your typical looking classroom. You have an environment of a teacher who is loving and caring. She has a classroom of semi-structured but not stiff. They know what they have to do to get things done. You're coming into a classroom that has a teacher that cares about her students, their academic concerns and their emotional concerns.
Do you agree with the Reggio Emilio approach that the environment is a student's third teacher?
Definitely not. I think the environment is the child's first teacher. By the time we get children in school, they bring with them their tools that they've learned from home on how to have social skills, their language skills, their behavior skills. The environment, sometimes you have to work, most of the time you have to work through what a child's learned at home before he can learn academics.
How do you think you could adjust your school or classroom's ambiance to allow for a broader student learning?
The first thing I would do is to get rid of standardized testing. This standardized testing and Common Core assessments have robbed the children of the joy of learning. They are very fearful of learning now because they're going to have to go and do these tests. I think also you've robbed the teacher of the joy of teaching. Teaching used to be so much fun, but now it seems to be a chore that they have to test for the county and the state to know what's going on in their classroom. It has stripped the educational system of learning and making it fun.
What ambiance does your environment give off?
Well, I think our school, when you come in, the entrance is maybe a little chaotic, but there's a sense of history because of all the wonderful pictures from as far back as the first class at our school, which was over 30 years ago. But my room personally, I think, is a little chaotic and disorganized.
How would you describe your classroom environment?
I describe my classroom environment as a kind of transitional right now. I inherited a classroom with a lot of stuff, a lot of disorganized, unclean kind of mayhem, as I would put it. But I'm trying to change it to a bit more of a child-friendly environment with a little less clutter, more focused areas for the kids to be active in, and a lot more of their artwork for them to kind of show their friends and their family when they come to visit.
Do you agree with the Reggio Emilio approach that the environment is a student's third teacher?
I would say for the most part that I do agree with that approach. I think children learn better in an environment that's geared much more towards their needs, with appropriate child-geared centers and more natural products and things that can spark their imaginations and creativity more than kind of the general public school or very very bland, very vanilla kind of clinical environment that just seems to stunt their growth more than enhance it.
How do you think you could adjust your classroom school's ambiance to allow for broader student learning?
Well, for our school as a whole, I don't think our entrance is very welcoming. It needs a little repair work. It needs some more color. It needs a better flow. When children and families come in, there's no real way to kind of direct you where to go. You just kind of come in and are stunted for a moment, and where do I go? Where's the office? What's the purpose of this general area? And for my room as a whole, it definitely just needs to be better organized and more centered towards the children's needs rather than the adults.